If I ask your team right now what the top three company priorities are, would they give the same answer? If you stopped reminding everyone what mattered in the company, would the company still be aligned? Does your company run on a system or does it run on memory? Most companies don't have an execution problem, they have a systems problem. And if you're the glue holding everything together, you already feel it every day. And when I say systems problem, I don't mean tools. It's not about Slack versus Teams. It's not about whether you track OKRs or goals or KPIs. It's not about whether you have project boards. A system means, or a system problem means your strategy exists, but it's not structurally connected to the daily work. Your goals might be there, but they're not continuously reinforced. Your initiatives are created, but they're not visibly tied back to outcomes. And your meetings happen, but they don't reliably provide or produce follow through. And alignment depends on someone manually stitching it all together. So when a company runs on memory, it runs on people. But when a company runs on a system, it runs on structure. Here's what I see over and over again. Leadership builds a beautiful strategy deck or document. It's thoughtful, it's ambitious, it makes sense. Then someone translates it into goals or OKRs, objectives and key results. Then teams interpret those goals differently. The projects get spun up, meetings start multiplying, tasks get created, and then 6 months later, everyone is busy, but no one can clearly explain, are we actually winning? Are we doing the right things? Are we moving in the right direction? And it's not because people don't care. It's because there's no system connecting those layers. I call these the movements of work. We'll get into that. Strategy lives in slides in this scenario. Goals live in spreadsheets. Projects live in spreadsheets or tools. Meetings live in calendars. And daily work lives in someone's head. And if you're the glue holder, it's usually yours. Now, most companies don't design how work flows. They assume that it flows naturally. But strategy isn't self-executing. Alignment isn't automatic, and culture doesn't scale on memory. Execution is a chain. And if any link breaks, the entire thing breaks. Think about dominoes, and if you have one too many spaced out, it stops functioning. So instead of asking, how do we get more productive? We should be asking, how do we design a company that runs like a system? And if you want a company that executes, you need 5 connected layers. So you're going to have strategy, you're going to have goals, initiatives, daily execution, and then measurements and resets. Measurements and resets is that 5th one together. Here's how it goes. Strategy defines the direction. Goals translate direction into outcomes or hopeful outcomes. Initiatives then define what must change. What do we have to do to get there? Daily execution is what actually makes it become a reality. And then measurement tells you if it's actually working. And one part that people forget is it also tells you if it's not working and possibly what should we do about it not working. Now, here's the kicker. Most companies live in layer 3 and 4, initiatives and daily execution, but very few intentionally design layers 1, 2, and 5, strategy, goals, and then measurement and reset. That's why it feels chaotic. That's why the glue holders become the operating system, meaning they're the ones that are physically and manually piecing together the system. I've been there. That's why I'm building Grapevine. Now, this channel is about building that full chain. That's the pivot that we're doing here, not just in the content, but also in the product that we're building. So we're about building that full chain from scratch. So over the next few videos, I'm going to walk you through what strategy is, how to research before you set that direction, how to decide what not to do, how to turn strategy into OKRs, objectives, and key results. That's the goal method that I use. How to cascade those goals clearly, and you'll know what that means in the videos coming. How to break key results into initiatives, how to run weekly and monthly rhythms, how to measure what matters. And we're not going to do it in theory. I'm going to build it live with you, because with this pivot that I've done with Grapevine, this is where we're at. We're building that strategy. We're turning them into goals. We're turning that into initiatives. We're doing it on a daily executional base. And this is super important for me as a solo founder, because I'm the one building, marketing, selling, onboarding, all this. So if that's intriguing, make sure to subscribe. But as we go through this, I'm going to show you how I design and run this entire system inside a Grapevine workplace. Not because a tool magically fixes execution, but because systems need a place to live, especially if you're a distributed team or you're a remote team. What was visible is no longer visible. And so we want to be able to make sure that that happens. But it also applies to in-office, frontline workers, deskless workers, people working out in the field. They need to be able to go and see what it is. So you'll get to see strategy documented, OKRs cascading, initiatives linked to goals, daily planning connected to quarterly outcomes, insights that show whether you're actually moving forward. It's not going to be scattered. It's all connected. And this isn't a feature tour, so don't worry about that. It's going to be a system tour. So whether or not you use our platform, you're going to be able to take what we share in these videos and use it at your company. So if you're an operations leader, a chief of staff, a founder operator like myself, if you're tired of being the human API between teams, the glue holders, this series is going to be for you. And it's not just going to be a series. We're going to start here, but this is going to be something that we try to educate people on moving forward, because you shouldn't be the system. The company should have one. That's the whole thing here. So for each step, I'm going to be building templates you can use, strategy templates, OKR structures, initiative planning boards for project management, weekly execution rhythms, and you'll be able to open them directly inside Grapevine and build your own system, or you'll be able to at least see them and you can translate them into the system that you choose. And if you want to move from chaos to clarity, that's the whole goal here. You want to make sure that you subscribe, you like, you comment, and that way you're going to get updated as each video comes out. So next video, we start at the beginning. What strategy actually is, and how to design one that doesn't collapse under execution. Let's build a company that runs like a system, and let's build it together. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.